Thank you. And hello to everyone here in the room and also online. As we've just heard, this week, the world's leading climate scientists have again highlighted the urgency of the climate crisis, and that was in the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, or the IPCC's latest report. Despite some sobering findings, there was a message of hope, and that was that urgent action now can secure a livable future for us all. But taking this urgent action and this decisive action, making good decisions, relies on the right information. This includes local level information on how our climate is changing and the associated impacts and risks. And that is why the Climate Science Initiative is so important. It will provide us with detailed local climate information tailored to Western Australia. This will help government, businesses, industry and the community understand and adapt to our changing climate. So today I'm really excited to be joined here by Dr. Jatin Kala to explain the Climate Science Initiative and how it will produce the most comprehensive West Australian climate change projections ever produced. So I hope you come away with an appreciation of the importance of this initiative, but also for an appreciation of the innovation and the robustness of what we're trying to achieve. So for those of us who have read the recent IPCC report or maybe seen it on the news, the latest, it can feel quite overwhelming. It concludes that climate risks are escalating faster than scientists first expected. We've just heard that global temperatures are now 1.1 degrees warmer than pre-industrial levels. And without strengthening policies, this warming is projected to increase to 3.2 degrees by 2100. But what do these global trends mean for us here in Western Australia? In January 2022, Onslow reached 50.7 degrees. That is the equal hottest day on record in Australia. So how hot will it get as these temperatures continue to rise? Our southwest region has already dried out at one of the fastest rates in the world. Will that trend continue? And what do these changes mean for the most vulnerable community members, our unique biodiversity, and our infrastructure that we rely on daily? Climate models can help us answer these questions. And the latest generation of climate models that have been used to inform the IPCC report are really good at providing those global insights. But their scale is sometimes too big to examine the impacts of climate change in a specific West Australian community or region. And so to understand this, we need to translate those global climate models into regional climate models for Western Australia. And so why is this important? The need for this local information is shared by all sectors of society. That includes government, businesses, industry, and community. And so on this slide, there is a few of the reasons of how these projections can be used. So if we look at disaster risk reduction, for example, we know that climate change is causing more severe and frequent extreme weather events like bushfires, floods, and storms. Local climate projections can help agencies like the Department of Fire and Emergency Services and local firefighters prepare for changing bushfire patterns, and this may include through enhanced prescribed burning practices. For our environment, local climate projections can support agencies like the Department of Biodiversity, Conservation and Attractions and Aboriginal Rangers, care for country, our unique biodiversity, and our parks and reserves. Within the energy sector, projections can support companies like Western Power and Horizon Power and the wider energy market and sector keep our power secure as our climate becomes more extreme. It can help them plan for future energy demands and prioritise the location for renewable energy projects. In agriculture, local projections, when communicated well, can help farmers choose the right crop varieties to maximise yield and manage their farm in a backdrop of changing rainfall and temperature patterns. So moving on to the Climate Science Initiative. The initiative was established in 2021. It is a state government commitment under the West Australian climate policy. It is producing climate change projections extending 75 years into the future, so up until the year 2100, and Dr. Jatankala will explain how in his presentation. But importantly, we need to translate and communicate these really large, complex climate data sets and research into a way that it can be used in decision making. So this includes making information available online, providing training, guidance, and this work needs to be done in consultation with relevant communities, sectors, and vulnerable groups. But we also need to bring together diverse knowledges, and this includes Indigenous and local knowledges. So producing climate change projections is highly technical. It requires high-performance supercomputers and significant data storage facilities. We're talking multiple terabytes of data. So in the past, these three factors have limited what we can produce. New partnerships as part of the Climate Science Initiative allow us to overcome some of these challenges, and it will allow us to understand our climate like never before. So as we've heard, the Climate Science Initiative is being led by the Department of Water and Environmental Regulation, and we're delivering it in partnership with the New South Wales Government and Murdoch University through a project called the New South Wales and Australian Regional Climate Modelling Project. It's a bit of a mouthful, so I often refer to it as NARCliM, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that shortly. We've also partnered with the Pawsey Supercomputer Research Centre. So NARCliM is led by the New South Wales Government Department of Planning and Environment. They have been producing local scale climate projections for southeastern Australia for over a decade. Last year, Western Australia, through the Climate Science Initiative, joined the project. NARCliM has now grown to be a collaboration between 4 jurisdictions: New South Wales, ACT, South Australia, and Western Australia, as well as 2 research institutions, Murdoch University and the University of New South Wales. The NARCliM partnership allows us to create consistent climate data stretching from Sydney to Perth. It has also helped us reduce duplication and boost our climate science capability. This is really important because right now across Australia, there is a patchwork of climate data sets, and we know this makes it really difficult for people to access, compare, and use the data. And if you're an organisation with a national footprint, it can be even more challenging for you to understand your risks to your operations and your assets. So by joining forces with other jurisdictions and Australia's research community, we can ensure that we provide the best available climate science information in a consistent way. Another way that we are supporting this ambition is by joining the new National Partnership for Climate Projections. This partnership aims to develop a consistent approach to deliver comparable and fit-for-purpose climate information. And if you want to learn more about this, there was a Climate Projections Roadmap for Australia published just a few weeks ago, and it's available online. You can have a look at. So moving on to our partnership with Murdoch University. Our partnership with Murdoch means that we've teamed up with local climate scientists who understand WA's unique climate features. Our multidisciplinary team consists of program managers, science communicators, modelers, and climate scientists. We also want to support and invest in the next generation of climate scientists and ensure that we further build this capability here in Western Australia. So that's why our partnership with Murdoch will support 2 PhD scholarships. 2 weeks ago, you may have seen in the news, the Minister for Environment and Climate Action, the Honourable Reece Whitby, announced that our new climate projections will be produced using one of the world's most powerful and greenest supercomputers based here in Perth. As I previously mentioned, computer power and data storage has often limited what can be produced. So by partnering with the Pawsey Supercomputing Research Centre and using their newest supercomputer called Centenix, we have access to the data processing that we need to produce the most reliable view of WA's future climate. The Climate Science Initiative is proud to be one of the largest projects using Centenix to date. And if you don't know, Centenix is the scientific name for quokka, and its capabilities are truly extraordinary. It takes just 1 second to do a calculation that would take a human 1.5 billion years to achieve. Its power is equivalent to hundreds of thousands of standard computers working together. It's also the 4th greenest supercomputer in the world. This means that we can undertake this high impact research with a lower environmental impact. So our project has now commenced on Centenix, and Jarton will explain how this work is operating. But I thought I would just let you know of some of the next steps. The first projections are expected to be available for climate scientists in 2024. And the reason I said this is there's a lot of data, and we know that this is going to need to be analysed and processed for use by a broader audience. And this is really important. It's a big task, and we'll be rolling it out progressively. And at the moment, we're just at the start. So today, I'm just going to give you a quick sense of what some of these products might look like as we continue to develop our thinking. So we know how important it is that we translate this data to allow non-technical users to understand and apply it and use it in decision making. So this could include through visualization products and web content. So up on the screen, there's an example of the visualization product that Victorian government has, the New South Wales Adapt website, and the Australian Climate Change in Projections website. We're really fortunate that we can learn from and work with other jurisdictions to make sure that we can present our information in the best way possible to enhance the user experience. And this is also a key focus of the National Partnership for Climate Projections. We also know that we need a way for technical users and the research community to be able to access the data. And so we're looking at options for data portals and ways for technical reports and scientific papers to outline what we are doing and why it's important and how to access it. So finally, just a few key takeaways from me. I'm really excited that we are producing the most comprehensive local climate change projections for Western Australia, extending to the year 2100. These projections will help West Australians understand the risks and also the opportunities of our changing climate at a very local level. We are partnering with a team of world-leading climate scientists and using one of the most powerful supercomputers on the planet to do this work. Another reason why this is exciting to me is that this work is taking place in Western Australia by West Australian scientists and institutions, but in collaboration with partners right across the country. Our methodology aligns with national and international best practice and will work to create consistent data across Australia. So as I've mentioned, we're still in the early stages of this project, but we're really excited to be sharing some of this information with you today. If you'd like to stay updated, please join our mailing list.